Welcome to the channel and Medieval Kingdom Wars, and this video is going to be about update 34, which came out on the 2nd of November 2017 if you're watching this in the future. And the title of this update is Improvements Part 3, and it is the last part of a series of updates which is focused on the gameplay. It's added in a few new features, and it's the kind of refinement process which the devs have been going through in preparation for their next big project, is the way they've described it, which is diplomacy and lord relationships. And they are looking to release that around the 21st of November. And when that comes out, it will be time for me to really start considering doing a formal let's play on the game, because that will put all the main campaign features in position and we'll have something to actually work with. Now, what's actually in this update? Well, it's quite an interesting update, and it can be split into two sections. There's quite a major new feature which is going to make life interesting if you've already played the game, and I think it might even prove a little bit of a challenge for new players, and I want to talk about that in some detail. And then there's a whole list of other features which are not going to be so easy to demonstrate, so I'm just going to read through those in the second part of the video. And if you guys want to know what's in the update, there will be a full listing in the video description. So what is the big change introduced in this update? And it is to do with upkeep and income. Yes, they've introduced it, and the best way to describe it, guys, is I'm going to go straight in onto a campaign that I've already prepared, and it's an English campaign here. And here we are, guys, we're on the campaign map. But before I actually talk about the income, you can see the green and red arrow in the top left. I want to show you something else first as well, and that is that you can now rename cities, and you can rename
your current carrick
armies.
Standing ready.
That is a new feature that's been introduced. So you can rename your cities and your armies. And the other thing you can do now is, if you come in here, click on here, if you've got the silver, you can actually upgrade your settlement buildings on the world map here. But what is the big change? Well, the big change is income and expenditure. And if I click on the army, guys, now you will see now that the army now has an upkeep cost, and it's costing 34 silver, and it's actually earning 14 silver. And the reason it's earning 14 silver is because the serfs and the pigs in your army, sorry for laughing, guys, actually generate income, and your troops actually cost income. Now, if you look down here, you will see I've removed the siege equipment. The reason I've removed the siege equipment here is it's quite expensive, and one of the things that is worth noting is then, and I think that they've still probably haven't got round to updating all the tooltips, but when you actually mouse over the units, it doesn't tell you what the upkeep of these are. So I think there's a little bit of a little work there still to be done. So your army now costs money, but it can also earn money. And the important thing to remember, guys, is that your tax is separate from your income. So you've got your tax, and then you've got an income underneath it. I'm not sure exactly what the relationship will be, and as far as I can tell, guys, is the actual, there it is, it's just gone through. I was waiting for that, and it's overwritten, but you can just see it says upkeep 202, 123. So this is actually deducted on a monthly basis. It's not continuous. Now what I'm going to do now is just go onto the city, and this is where life gets a bit interesting, because you can see here I'm actually losing gold on my city, and there's a very specific reason for that. Is that if I go across the buildings here, you will see that an archery range costs 55 and a barracks costs 73. So that, but what I've actually had to do is multiply up on all these buildings. So if any of you guys are familiar with the games, you'll be thinking, why has he got 2 stone camps, 2 iron camps, 2 barns? And the reason for that is that's the only way I could get my income up. And you can see I'm already getting low on slots, and I've only got 2 military buildings. And this is where the whole gameplay is going to change completely, in the sense that you're going to need to get access to the economic buildings very, very quickly in order to be able to generate some income. And because at the same time your serfs and your pigs and chickens only generate so much, and you can see I've got quite a big shortfall, and that could be an issue. And what I have also done is I've done a bit of an experiment in the sense that I've actually upgraded these buildings up, but you can see there's no increase. And I think what they probably need to consider that is if you upgrade the buildings, you may need to upgrade your income. Now I'm just going to kind of flip into the city to show you what it looks like on the inside, although any of you guys familiar with the games, it's not going to be that massively different. So here we are, guys, we're actually on the map, and of course we're now losing income because our the tax now on this here. So not only are our buildings costing us money now, we're actually having to pay to be in the map, and you can see I've got the 4 settlements here. But what I will show you guys is you don't see the income on these tooltips either, and it goes also for if I can find an empty building slot somewhere. Like I think there would be one up here. If you click on here, this is what I was saying, guys, is the tooltips don't actually include at the moment what the cost of the buildings are. So if I kind of escape out, well, I don't mean to do that. But again, if I click on here, it's the barracks here, so I can imagine what this would cost. I can't build it at the moment, so I think they need to get the cost of these buildings into the tooltips, because you've got to remember this is the upkeep of the building simply for being able to recruit troops, and then if you recruit troops on top, that is actually going to cost you money. Maybe if you upgrade a building, the cost of maintaining it drops, and if you upgrade a commercial building, maybe the income will rise. That might balance the issue, because, and I think that's all I can show you in this map, guys. Here I don't think there's anything else in here that's new with this release, but I just wanted to show you that issue with the tooltips. And then if I kind of go back onto the campaign map, and here we're back on the campaign map, guys, and what I'm going to do now is they haven't made any changes to the marshal, because there are lots of people wandering around. But what I want to do is return to something I've mentioned before, which is the research. And the building you'd be looking for to solve this economic problem is a marketplace, and it's actually up here. And one of the problems with the research and the technology is you've still got to be able to build this stuff here. And I've already researched 1 tier, and to do that I had to actually buy the resources to come up there. I had to buy, I think it was 2 seals and 2 tools, and that cost me 1100 and 1700. So that cost me a lot of my money, and that gets me to there. Now to get to here I would have to buy another 3 seals, which would be a lot, and then I'd have to do it all over again. I'd have to get 3 sets of dies and 3 sets of seals, and then I'd eventually get to here. So I still think there's a little bit of work needs to be done on balancing the research, or finding some way to get access to these resources. And I'm hoping, because I haven't actually been able to get to this, but hoping that if you kind of can unlock the market building, you can actually start trying to get some revenue going. Because so I like the idea, guys. I'm not criticizing and saying they shouldn't have done it. I do like the idea of the upkeep, but I just think it needs a little bit more polish. And I think what would be useful is if you can upgrade a military building or something like that, you can reduce its maintenance cost, and maybe if you upgrade these, you can actually increase your income. Because I mean, if you look at this is a major settlement and it's got 12 slots, but if you imagine that, say, a minor settlement here, you'd be struggling to balance the economy, unless I mean, I haven't checked it with a minor settlement, unless the cost of buildings is actually less. And I think that's all I'm going to say on this kind of point, guys. I mean, it will be polished over time. I'm sure the devs will be on it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to the main menu to finish this video off, mainly because I just don't want a battle being triggered. Okay, welcome back to the main menu, guys. And what I'm going to do now is I've covered the biggest, what I would say, new feature that's been introduced to this update. What I'm just going to do now is run through some of the other features that kind of grabbed my attention. This isn't going to be a comprehensive list, and if you really want the comprehensive list, it will be in the video description. But I thought I'd just read through some of the ones that kind of attracted my attention. And of course, the one here that's come up straight away, which I've already mentioned, is the ability to rename towns and armies. It says archers will look for new targets if they are unable to hit their current target 3 times. And this is what the situation where if you put your archers inside of a stockade or behind a wall, they will keep firing at a unit, but they're not actually hitting it. And so what they're actually saying now is the archers will now have intelligence to say, I can't hit this target, I will go looking for another one. And then they've also introduced a change that says when capturing towns, the players will now keep buildings and walls that have been upgraded by the AI. So you will no longer be starting with a completely empty town again, which in the concept of now having to build up with the new economic changes, that would be quite important. And it says the AI will be now more effective in building palisades and using mounted artillery, and this is in the defense, because I must admit I've fought a couple of campaigns against quite large cities and the AI was quite inept in that area. And there's a couple of balance changes which I want to mention. Trebuchets and catapults will now do more damage to walls, so they're going to be able to smash through walls quicker. There could be a threat if that's available to the AI, which it probably will be. And it says, and this final one I'm not too sure about, guys. It says range unit attack nerf 30%, especially hunter and bowman. Now I'm assuming that means that they're reducing the actual hit rate of missile units rather than the range, but it isn't 100% clear. And I think that's it, guys. I think I've covered everything. As I say, if you want to read all the details for yourself, go to the video description. There will be a full listing in it. And on that note, what I will say, guys, is I'm looking forward to the 21st of November when that new diplomatic update comes out. Once that comes out, I will spend a little bit of time learning, and because obviously it will change the game dynamic, and then hopefully we'll get ourselves some proper let's play going. And on that note, guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. Until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.